What's up, everybody? It's the Bipolar Prophet, and welcome back to Old Ridge Farm in Farming Simulator 15. So as you can see, the bales that I bought, the square straw bales that I bought from Court Farms, from that big field, have arrived on 2 truckloads. It was about 46 bales altogether. There was probably 100 bales on that field. I didn't need that many. I was lucky enough that there was a couple of contractors up there that I managed to sort of convince to come down here with a couple loads. I said, bring them down, I'll pay you a little bit of money. And I'll buy you lunch over in the pub, and that's where they are right now while I unload. I've already sort of got started with it, because these guys want to get back on the road, obviously. But, it'd be nice to have all this straw. I'm going to need it. The dairy herd has just, it's really growing very fast. I'm not at the point where I want to start selling some of my older cows yet, but it's getting close to that point. So I need the straw very badly. I think about Court Farms, I should probably tell you, is that... it's finished up there. I've sold all the grain. Everything's done. We're done up there. I didn't record it for a couple of reasons. One is because it was really boring just driving back and forth from the grain sheds to this sell point, which was all the way on the other side of the map. And it would have made for a boring video. It took about an hour and a half. I didn't know what I was going to talk about for an hour and a half. The other thing that happened was that I accidentally deleted my Court Farms mod folder. I have mod folders for all the different maps that I play on, because you shouldn't have... Farming Simulator doesn't like when you have a lot of modded maps in your main mod folder altogether, because there's always going to be conflicts. It's easier just to have one mod folder for each map you play in with the mods in it and stuff. Just makes the game a lot happier. And I don't know what happened, but I accidentally deleted it, so I basically had to cheat in a bunch of stuff. Get the bales, get them over here. And all I did with the bales was I copied the vehicle XML, with the Flegel trailers and these man trucks, which are the right-hand drive ones, and the bales, and I got an approximate location, GPS location of my respawn point over at the main farm, and put it in. And there was a lot of trial and error. Bales were everywhere, and trucks were everywhere, and so I wouldn't recommend you guys do that unless you're really comfortable with it, because it took a long time to do. But I did manage to get them, where I wanted to, and then just brought them over here. So we're going to go ahead and unload these bales. I don't know if this is going to be, all we do in this episode or not. I've already got a head start, as you can see. I got a few bales over there already. I don't know if this will be everything we do in this episode, but we'll see. All the ripping is done now. All the sort of, the corn stubble's turned in. I turned in the alfalfa on field 11 just to get rid of the lag. It's helped a bunch. There's still a little bit of lag, mostly because of the fact that I have so much stuff going on this map, but it's a lot better than it was, to say the least. So I probably will not do alfalfa again, for the simple fact that it just causes too much lag for me. And I think what I'm going to start doing from now on is I'm going to start planting winter barley, after the harvest. Go ahead and direct drill it right in the ground. And I may, in not every field, a couple of fields. And I'll probably swath it. Am I on the wrong? That's the wrong camera. There we go. My camera was acting weird. I couldn't figure out why. I'll probably swath it when it comes up in the spring, just for straw, because as I've mentioned now a couple times, the herd, my dairy herd, is growing so fast that I really need as much straw as I possibly can get. So bringing down 46 bales from Court Farms wasn't bad, and these guys didn't, it didn't cost a ton of money to bring them down. So the bales themselves were a little expensive, but certainly worth it to me. You can see up there we have $49,239. That's now, from the bank paying me for all the work up at Court Farms, minus what it cost for the bales, minus what it cost to bring them down here. So, we're not exactly broke, but we're not rolling in the money either. I do have a whole bunch of animals to sell, animals to muck out and everything, and then refeed the animals that are left over there. So, that's a couple more episodes, probably 4 episodes. What I'd like to do is kind of focus on, one thing per episode now for the winter. Probably getting these bales stacked up will be 1 episode, because you know me, it's going to take me a long time. And then the next episode we'll sell all the animals. Episode after that we'll muck them out and feed them. And then that will probably be winter here at Old Ridge, I guess. And then we can go on to spring and start all the, the groundwork and all the preparations, and busy, 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 as you would expect. So. I need to get my tipper. I didn't get my tipper because, like I said, I accidentally deleted my Court Farms mod folder, so I need to find my Joe Skin tipper again and bring it down here, because I'm pretty sure Ian Blake is going to bring it to me, so he did say he would. I doubt very much he's going to bring the old Ford down the motorway, though. I would hope not, anyway. I know he loves that thing, and I know he drives it all the time. But you know, taking it down the motorway, I believe, is not only illegal, but it's not particularly practical either. So, but you know, Ian, do what you will, I guess. And I certainly appreciate it. I certainly appreciate everything you've done for me. You know, it means a lot to me. So, now, as you can see. You know, the bales are still a little fiddly if you get them too close to each other, especially on these kind of bale forks where they're not an actual object until you unlock them, you know. If you get them too close to each other, you know, not like Farming Simulator 13 where they just explode and end up, you know, in space and halfway across the map and everything. But they're still a little jumpy, you know. They're still not happy. I bet if I walked over there and stood next to the bales, you'd discover that they were a little, you know, wiggly, but okay. And this will probably cause some lag too, having this many bales, you know, really stacked in tight together. But I need the bales, so we're going to have to live with that too, I think. You know, it's funny, I was doing this, you know, I was sort of getting set up for this earlier, and I was thinking, I was like, oh, bales, right? But you know what? I make such a big deal about wanting to be a dairy farmer and wanting to be, you know, an animal farmer, predominantly, which is the way this is sort of leading, the way Old Ridge is sort of going. You know, I better get used to dealing with bales, huh? I better get used to handling bales. I better get used to, you know, moving them around and shifting them and stacking them and everything else because, you know, I need them. All these animals need bales. There's no way around that. So, are you as close in as you can get? You are. Okay. Now, hopefully these bales last me the winter. I would imagine they will. You know, probably what I'll do is we'll do the next 4 episodes, and of course, obviously the animals, and I'll fast forward time in between to make it a new day. So the animals will obviously need, you know, to be fed every day. So I'll go through quite a bit of it. You may see that I've gone through all the silage over there already. That didn't take long between all the animals, you know. So I'm gonna have to. I was thinking that I wouldn't need 2 pits of silage, but I am definitely going to need 2 pits of silage because I've already gone through a bunch of it. Did you not like those bales over there, BP? I completely forgot there was 2 more bales on that trail. This is what, episode 97? So by the time all the winter stuff is done, by the time we sell the animals, by the time we, you know, well, by the time we stack all these bales, by the time we go and sell all the animals, by the time we muck them out and everything and refeed them, we'll just be at about episode 100, and I'm going to start working on that a little ahead of time because it's going to require a little setup. Got something a little special planned. Hopefully you guys will enjoy it. I know I'm going to. You know, and I don't want to give it away again, so I'm just going to say, you know, you'll have to stay tuned. I also want to say while I'm doing this, because there's not, you know, a whole bunch else to talk about at the moment, that, you know, I want to thank every single one of you. You know, again, I say this all the time, but you guys have been so amazing lately, you know, and I want to welcome all the new subscribers. There's been a lot of new subscribers to the channel. I really appreciate it. You know, whether you're finding me through friends, whether you're finding me in searches on YouTube or whatever, you know, welcome. And I hope you guys enjoy your stay, and I hope you stay for a long time. You know, this channel got started as a sort of an outlet for me, something to do, you know, thanks to TCGG Rob, making, you know, videos look like so much fun. You know, but over the time that Bipolar Profit Gaming has been an entity, you know, it's really grown, it's become a community, and it means so much to me. And I want to make sure that all the new people that have come along, you know how I appreciate you, how much I appreciate you, you know, what you all mean to me and everything. So it's really a big deal for me, and I really, really appreciate it. So I think after episode 100 on Old Ridge, we're going to have to come up with some sort of plan about how much more of this you guys want to see. I never expected to make 100 episodes of this, you know. I figured I'd do 30 or so like I did on, you know, on Bjornholm. I never would have guessed that this would be, you know, such a long-running thing. Certainly, I am more than happy to keep playing on this map forever. You know, I loved it from the day it was released. You know, OEB did a fantastic job with this map, as I've said over and over and over again. And then, of course, I've made changes to it as I've gone along. Excuse me. That, you know, that have made the map feel more like home. You know, thanks to David Oldfield for starting the story, starting the role play. You know, Mike for just taking off with it. You know, Sean for coming in, JD Vlogger, Ian Blake, everybody who's sort of gotten involved in the story aspect of this of this map, you know, has made it a living, breathing place. I swear, it's almost like a persistent world now where it happens outside of my computer. You know what I mean? It's not just in my computer anymore. It's all over the place. So, you know, I think if Farming Simulator ever went to a persistent world, you know, where stuff happens whether you're there or not, this would be the map to do it on, I think. You know, and how cool would that be? But that would all not be possible without any of you guys and any of the people who have, you know, gotten involved in this and made this what it is. And I cannot say thank you enough. So, now, is there any chance? Oh, yeah, I'm already out there. This is where it gets a little tricky for me because I cannot see exactly where these bales want to be. So, this is where I start exploding bales into space. You watch. Can I shove those forward a little bit more? Up against the wall, that would be great. I'm not a big one for stacking bales, you know, super high anyway, but I figure with this amount of bales, I might as well get them, you know, in there as neatly as possible. Pull that back in. It's never a good idea to drive with the boom fully extended. So I'm not going very far, but far enough, I guess. Now, you know, the good thing about square bales is that unless you're me and you make a giant mess of it, square bales sort of will, you know, make you look like you know what you're doing because you can kind of, because they're square, they're a little easier to stack. They're a little more forgiving. Unlike, easy. Unlike round bales, which require a lot of precision. And again, you know, and I say this all the time, but I'm so impressed with the guys that can stack round bales. You want to watch somebody stack round bales really well? Go watch Grant, the Scottish gaming guy, do it. He does it so well. It's so much fun to watch. You know, me, I just tend to dump them in a pile, and I'm like, oh, good enough. Going to use them anyway. Don't care. Oh, you know, I didn't do so awful with the grass bales over there. You know, it could have been a lot better, but it wasn't too terrible. Now, one thing I got to remember is that the roof of this shed is not really long. So. Look, I am up against the wall. Okay. Turn this way a little bit. Unlock. Do not go crazy and go everywhere, please. Thank you. No. I am too close. There we go. Again, not perfect, but it'll do. Do not hit my fences there. Thank you. I am not great with this when the boom is all the way extended either. I mean, what's the point of having a telehandler if you're not going to use the boom, right? But, because again, not something I do a whole bunch of. You want to be a big dairy farmer, BP, you better figure it out. One trick to this is to try to get the bales when it auto-loads the bales to take them off the top and not the bottom, so you don't end up with, you know, a bale floating or, you know, and then eventually becoming a real object again and then falling down and taking a whole bunch of other bales with it. Because obviously in real life you're not taking the bales off the bottom before you take them off the top, so. I can already see that top level is just not pretty. Oh well. It's okay. Doesn't have to be pretty, it just has to be there. So. You know, again, and I've said this, I've never used a telehandler in real life. Oh, geez, lower. It gets real narrow over here because of the peak of the roof, you know. I've never used a telehandler in real life. All my bale stacking experience sort of comes from, you know, using an ancient front loader, so. We couldn't stack them very high to begin with, so really, it was so neat right up until then. Oh well. I mean, I don't have to certainly stack them up high like that. I just thought I'd try it. I could bring them all the way out to the front of the shed, you know. One thing about that, you know, in real life, you would obviously want to maximize your space. You'd want to put them, you know, as far back and as high as you could. One thing about sort of farm sim is that the rain gets in that shed anyway. It doesn't matter. So. You know, those are some of the things that I would like to see change. You know, maybe have the rain. I don't know how it would work, but maybe have the rain realize that, hey, that's a building and I can't, you know, I can't just go in that, you know. have a collision on the roof, have the rain be a thing, an object. Of course, that would require, I mean, with the amount of raindrops that fall, can you imagine the lag that would cause unless you have just a, you know, massive super NASA sort of style computer? You know, it's all a compromise. It's all a compromise between true simulation and a game. And I get it. I fully understand that, so. One thing, I'm putting some hours on the old telehandle. That's good. I was a little too close to those bales, and yep, now they're all screwed up. Yeah, see that top bale is floating now because it's a thing. Ugh, come on. If I was smart, I wouldn't have done that, would I have? No, I'm all screwed up. I should have took it off. Should have took it off auto load for that. Can I? Can I make a huge mess of this now? Back up. Back up. Back up. See? Well, there's a BP special, huh? Oh, well. Again, you know, I think for me, the obsession with getting a perfect bale stack, you know, and I get it, and I understand why people do it and everything, but for me, it's time taken that I could be doing other things, you know what I mean? As long as these bales get in the shed, you know, and as long as they're reasonably neat and I can access them and I can use them for my animals and stuff, I'm pretty happy, so. You know, I'm not going to win any bale stacking contests. That is for certain. But I'm not looking to either, so. "16 minutes of stacking bales." You know what? I think because it looks like this is going to shape up to be sort of an odd-timed episode, you know, as far as length goes. So what I may do is I may call this an episode, you know, after these bales are all stacked up and everything. Probably go down to the pub and have some lunch. Tell the drivers that their trucks are ready to be, you know, to take off. So slip a couple bucks, you know, for a tip or whatever. If I came in straight, that would help massively too. I always feel like I'm slightly skewed to one side or the other with this thing, and that's more because of the way that I stack these bales. But get them up off the other bales before you drop them, otherwise you will have a giant mess. Is that low enough? That is. You know, even this, even though it's not pretty and it's sort of turning into Tetris a little bit, it's better than it would look if I tried this with round bales. If I tried to go more than too high with round bales, pff, are you kidding? Then it's a pile. It's absolutely a pile, and there's nothing I can do about that. So. I keep driving through that hedge. That poor hedge. I'm really hoping that after this BGA ferments, after the corn silage over in the BGA ferments, and they start shoveling into the digester, that we make enough money that I can afford to buy another field. I think we should be okay. Pretty sure I want to buy field 12. Now, you may see that field 12 over there is already green, meaning, you know, that we own it to jump out of the story. Well, that was a field boundary issue. I had to fix it. I had to be able to slurry the meadows that the council said we could cut. So I kind of had to buy field 12, but don't worry, I'm not actually going to use it, you know, until I physically buy it, make some money, you know, and buy the field instead of just cheating it in like I had to do. So. These bales are slightly less happy being up here than they were being on the ground. But that's okay. Let's just keep playing Tetris, so, which I was never very good at. You know, it's funny, we used to get, at the dairy farm I worked at, we would get the sort of in-between size bales, not the tiny ones, but not the great big ones that these are supposed to represent. And stacking those sometimes was a pain in the butt. You know, we would pull them off, you know, 4 or 5 at a time with the front loader, and then a lot of times we'd have to stack them by hand because the barn that we kept them in was really sort of cluttered, and it was hard to move around in there and everything. And there was a couple of times when, you know, it was not so much bale stack as it was bale pile. And Sam was sort of of the same mind, my old boss, the guy who owned the farm, was sort of the same mind that I was, that he was like, you know, whatever. As long as they're not too much of a pile, as long as we can get around in here, as long as we can get to them. I'm driving around with the boom out again, aren't I? I can feel the weight of it on the telehandler. Not good. Let's break the telehandler we're still paying for. It's always a good idea. Speaking of that, I talked to Chad about the slurry tank. He wants me to bring it down and take a look at it, which I'm more than glad to do. So he's gonna have the rep come out, or the maintenance tech, I should say, come out and have a look at the implement there and see what the problem is. So now, if they can fix it, great. If they give me another one, great. You know, however they want to do it, this is a good time to do it so that, you know, I won't need it over the winter. So obviously, you know, come springtime, I will be using the hell out of that thing. In fact, if I was smart, I would bring that over to him today after these are done, and I may do that. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll get the last of these bales stacked up in here, and then we'll bring the slurry. I'm assuming he's going to need the whole thing because the computer part is actually connected to the slurry tanker. So whether it's the relay on the implement or the relay in the tanker, I'm not 100% certain. But I'm sure his rep, you know, his tech will be able to figure that out. So. Why do we get the feeling these are going to fall off? Because they are. Yep. They didn't feel right there. Back. No, not that far back. I need a view where I could see straight down from the sort of top of the shed, you know? Because if I unlock these in the wrong place, oh boy. Again, you know, not as much of a crisis as it would have been in farming. Oh, come on! This is the silliness. Uh-oh, BP's getting frustrated, everybody. What do you do about that? You suck it up, BP. That's what you do. You want to have this giant dairy herd, well, get used to it. Really? I also believe that the paddles on my G27 may be wearing out. I use them a lot. I use them for, you know, to change directions in Farm Sim. I use them as my blinkers in Euro Truck and ATS. I obviously use them to shift a great many vehicles when I'm racing. You know, I do try to use the 8-shifter if the car that I'm driving in a racing game is equipped with an 8-shifter, you know. But anything with a sequential shifter I have to use the paddles for because I don't have a sequential shifter, you know. Don't really need one either, to be honest. And of course, anything, you know, Formula 1 or GT3 or anything like that that would actually have paddle shifters, I use the paddle shifters. And I think they're wearing out. I do want to get some new ones, some bigger ones, just because these are a little awkward to get to when you're, you know, sometimes when you're coming out of a full turn, you know, because they're small. I would like to get some ones that stick out sort of out of the side of the wheel a little bit more. So I'm looking at those. I could just make some, I suppose, to be honest. I mean, I certainly can cut some aluminum, you know. I'm not completely mechanically uninclined, so. I don't know where these bales are. Oh, yeah, there you go. That's what happens when you're too close to the bales, to the other bales when you release them. And you get that mess. Oh, that couldn't have worked out any better, actually. Can you go back just a wee bit? Thank you. Now it's a pile. Had to happen, huh? Had to happen. Well, that top bale, whatever. It'll be fine. Got to think about what to do about the rats now, though. You know, I haven't had a rat problem so much over here. There's some cats kicking around the farm, you know. I feed them and stuff. I don't bring them in the house because, well, you know, A, I don't have a girlfriend. B, you know, not really a cat person. So, but I certainly don't begrudge them a place to live and some food, you know. Living things and all. Just because I may not be as enamored of cats as some people are doesn't mean I certainly want to mistreat them. And I appreciate the fact that they come over here and do some work for me, you know. I watched it really. I don't know if it's cool. Here's the thing. It's a cool video, and I understand why it's done. You know, a video by a guy that I subscribe to, a real life farmer. who was doing some ratting in a big straw pile with Jack Russell Terriers, which is what they're designed to do, right? That's what a Terrier is designed to do. A Terrier is designed to be, you know, a rat dog, right? That's why they're small and wiry like that, you know, and everything. And I certainly understand you don't want rats, you know, on your farm. You know, they'll eat everything. They'll, you know, they'll destroy all your straw and all that stuff. I certainly fully understand that. The problem with me, though, is that I tend to like rodents. I've always had rodents as pets, you know, which isn't, you know, I don't know. I like them, I guess. So that video got me thinking. I'm like, oh, you know, I'm going to need... Eventually, you know, the rats will sort of move over here. You know what I mean? And the cats deal with the ones that I have now, but I'm going to need to do something about it. I don't want to get dogs just to kill rats, though, to be honest. My luck, I'll just start picking them up and, you know, putting them in cages and stuff and keeping them in the house. I won't have cats in the house, but I'll have rats. Go figure, right? Oh, BP. I just know I don't want them in my grain. You know, I don't need the contamination, and I don't need them eating all my grain, so... One thing about these bale forks I've discovered also is the more bales you do with them, sort of, it tends to bug out the bales after a while. And again, it's because of the switch between being a real thing and not being a thing. You know, it's sort of that compromise that you have to make for wanting the convenience of having the bale forks do most of the work for you. So that's a lot of bales, huh? It's good though. We're definitely gonna need them. We're definitely gonna use them. So. All right, very good. There's BP's Tetris-ish stack of square bales. Now, are we moving around over here? Are they sort of unhappy? No, they seem to be okay. And they're in very good shape, obviously, because they literally just came off the field yesterday, I believe, and then came down today. So they haven't been sitting around too long. Now, I'm just going to grab the last few round bales I have over here. I think I have 4 round bales left. These couldn't have come at a better time because I was going to be out of bales really soon. Yeah, 27 minutes of stacking bales. I think that's an episode, huh? You know, again, you know, I'm not going to apologize for it because it's farm sim, right? It is what it is. This is what the game is, you know, is for. And again, you know, you can play the game any way you'd like, obviously. If you just want to, you know, harvest and sell grain and fast forward and do silage and stuff, hey, absolutely, you know what I mean? And there are save games where I have done that. But this one, oh no, I had 6 bales left. I missed that last row. This particular Let's Play, especially, being so story-driven and so role-play oriented and trying to be as realistic as possible, you know, this is kind of the way it's going to be, you know. And again, you know, after we get past the 100th episode, if you guys don't want to see this anymore, and if enough people say, all right, BP, that's enough, you know, I will certainly stop recording it. I won't stop playing it, obviously, as I say over and over and over again. I just enjoy it too much, you know. It's such a great map. It feels like home and everything. If I was ever going to have, you know, if this was ever going to be a virtual home, this would be it. Absolutely. So you're going to have episodes like this, you know, maintenance-y episodes and things like that. It's all part of farming. So we're supposed to be simulating farming. I'm supposed to be showing it, you know, as best I can. So that's what we're going to do. One good thing, and I said this sort of, I touched on this in the beginning of the episode, is I'm starting to put some hours on the telehandler. You know, she's getting a lot of work now because I'm doing a lot more bale stuff and everything, as you would expect with a herd the size of mine. Are you guys on the ground? And there we go. There's the bale stack. Not fantastic, but, you know, it'll do. It'll do, I think. So I think what I'll do is I will bring this back over to here. Get it parked up. Maybe we can jump in the cab now. 30 minutes. You know what? I will bring that slurry tanker over to Chad in the beginning of the next episode before we go down to start selling the animals. You know, just to keep the episodes at a reasonable length, hopefully, so. And get this parked up. Ish. This is not its permanent home, but it'll do for now. There we go. Shut that off. Shut that off. So there you go, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. You know, watching me stack bales is always a treat, right? You know, you never know what's going to happen. The bales are going to go nuts. I'm going to, you know, I'm going to start off with a nice, neat square, and then it's going to turn into Tetris, and it's going to be all, you know, missing blocks and whatever. You'd think I was playing Minecraft over here. But hopefully you guys enjoyed that. As always, please feel free to leave any comments. You want to say, Jesus, BP, you are the worst bale stacker in the world. I absolutely agree with you. You know, anything else you guys want to leave, questions, comments, concerns, you know, anything like that, anything I can help you guys with. If I physically can do it, I will. You know what I mean? Questions about the game, questions about, you know, mods or whatever, anything like that. If I can do it, I will certainly help you. Thank you to each and every one of you for all the comments, for all the likes, for all the subscriptions, for all the love, for all the, you know, the support and everything you guys give the channel. It means so much to me. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. And again, welcome to all the new subscribers. Hopefully you guys are enjoying your stay. And if there's anything I can do to sort of make that, you know, make it more enjoyable for you, please let me know. And if I can physically do it, I will certainly give it some thought. As always, guys, make sure that you like the video. If you do like the video, you know what I mean? As you guys know, it helps me and the channel out a whole bunch. Moves me up in the search recommendations. Lets more people find my particular sort of semi-goofy brand of farm simming. Also, if you saw the thumbnail and you're new to the channel and you're like, oh, I want to check this out, Old Ridge Farm. You saw a bunch of bales on some lorries and stuff. And you liked it, click the like button. If you like, you know, if you like what you see and you want to see more, click the subscribe button. It's the best way of being notified of when I make a video, which is pretty much every day, and if not every day, at least every 2 days. Also, because I haven't said this in a while, to extend this outro out a little bit more, make sure you check me out on Facebook, Bipolar Profit Gaming on Facebook. Give that a like, you know what I mean? Feel free to post whatever you'd like over there, pictures, questions, comments, whatever. Also, at Bipolar Profit on Twitter. If you follow me, I'll be glad to follow you back. Whew! Done with all that now, right? As always, guys, thanks so much for making me a part of your YouTube day. And this is the Bipolar Prophet saying, see you later.